On the 12th of January 2010, one of the world's worst natural disasters ever struck Haiti. A 7.0 magnitude earthquake with the epicenter near the most populous area of Haiti, the capital Port-au-Prince, and it also struck the cities of Langona and Jacmel. Over 300,000 people were killed, and over 300,000 people were injured. Hundreds of thousands of the capital's slums and also the National Palace and the National Cathedral were destroyed and left uninhabitable. Many people lost limbs and many died because medical care was not available in the hours and days following the event. Now, having had this been pulled from Anna Verslu's journal article, Disasters, this helped us realize the magnitude of the earthquake, and how, despite the overwhelming amount of aid and support that was sent to the people in the country, almost no recovery seems to have occurred at all. You have to realize millions of dollars worldwide was sent to the recovery cause of this country, and yet, like I said before, not much recovery has seemed to have occurred. This brings rise to a variety of questions. What do I mean in saying aid wasn't received? In what ways was aid received? And finally, why should I, that being you, be concerned? Well, firstly, another quote from Verslu's Disasters. For a time, the world was focused on Haiti. The news media was reporting the situation around the clock, and aid was flooding in. International communities and the government had pledged over $10 billion to the recovery cause, and almost 50% of all U.S. households purposely donated to the Haiti earthquake recovery cause. The world was there when Haiti needed it most. And still is today. And yet, despite all the support and aid, not much has seemed to have occurred, and not much recovery seems to have occurred at all. Why, you ask? Well, for one reason, the wrong groups were raising money during the time. Pulling a quote from the New International Magazine's journal article, Haiti, Where Did All the Money Go? American Red Cross, despite having raised $255 million, only $106 million actually went to the Haiti Relief Project. Also, during the time of the earthquake, only 15 staff members were actually stationed in Haiti. Now, referring to another non-government organization, Partners in Help, which despite having 5,000 staff members, received less than $40 million. In a quote following this article, it is said, the wrong groups raised the most money in Haiti. Groups that may not have been able to even provide aid throughout Haiti received the most cash because of incredible brand recognition. Another reason why the recovery process wasn't going so well is that the Haitian people didn't even seem to be involved in their own recovery process. Pulling another quote from New International Magazines, studies have shown that only 2.3% of the reconstruction aid actually went to Haitian firms. The people simply seem to have been excluded from the rebuilding of their own country. The structure of the humanitarian system actually works against working with the local people. Decisions are made in Brussels, London, Washington, and Ottawa. And the UN Logistics Base, which is also located in Haiti, was a place where the Haitians were simply not invited, even the government members. And in other non-government organizations, decisions are made in English, then often can't even be communicated to the Creole speakers on the ground. This can be unhealthy for a variety of reasons. Projects that could have taken hours are now taking days because the community, the people, and the government are not working together and combining their efforts. Pulling another quote from New International Magazines. The international community needs to combine their efforts with the people and realize what the people really want, rather than choose their own pre-prepared projects from abroad. Now, despite all this, not everything was all dark and dismal. Aid was provided for the Haitian people. From an article released by Siri Schubert titled Haiti, The Long Road to Recovery, $6.5 million was sent into the social and humanitarian projects during the Haiti earthquake. This was able to provide things to help recover a hospital or a water treatment facility. Making sure that the money helps the poorest of the poor was very important. Now, during the time that this article was created, a self-proclaimed president was running the country of Haiti, and on the side he was stealing money from the federal coffers. When this was discovered, he was taken from power, and then all that money was put back into humanitarian projects. Furthermore, another quote was provided from Felipe Vistrein, head of the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs in Haiti. And it was reported by the New International magazine saying, if you compare this event to that being Ground Zero in New York for the Asian tsunami 2 years on, the amount of recovery process in Haiti has really not been that bad. Half the rubble has been cleared, and 1.5 million people who were at first in camps has now been reduced to over 500,000. Furthermore, 125,000 families have been provided shelter. However, further on in the article, it goes on to say that only 25,000 of these people were in permanent housing, while the remaining 100,000 were only in short-term housing. This shows that despite there being some recovery in Haiti, there's still much more that needs to be done. And finally, this brings us around to our last question. Why should you be concerned? Well, as I previously quoted from Toulouse disasters, 50% of all U.S. households were able to provide aid to the U.S. households. And yet, despite this, almost no recovery seems to have occurred. We donated millions of dollars to this cause, and yet nothing seems to have occurred. The government said they provided millions of dollars to this cause, and yet no recovery, no aid, no support. Haiti, it seems at this point, is still helpless no matter what. And finally, quoting Publilius Cyrus, money alone sets all the world in motion. Money and cooperation and support is the key to fixing Haiti.
What?